You see, education is not based upon memorization. Education is based upon cultivating your natural talent, skills, and gifts that's imbued inside of you. Beloved, the motive of setting up the first alternative health fair in Carson is to bring awareness to the city. This is a city that I love. Bringing awareness to the city begins with a conversation. So from today, I would like everyone to begin a conversation about what are your options. I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to ask you, what do you think about it? The supreme symbol of intelligence is the question mark. I'll say it again. The supreme symbol of intelligence is the question mark. Metaphysically, that represents a quest, eye on, a question. So, it begins with a question. We're going to discuss ancient tools of healing. We're going to bring it together that every single person will be able to identify with this presentation. And after I finish today, the universal intelligence has blessed us with so much energy, force, and vibration till it will be downloaded. So let us begin with this. I love children. Everyone in this room loves children, correct? Yes. When you see a child, you begin to smile, correct? Well, a child, an infant, holds a lot of wisdom and insight. My objective 23 years ago was to set up an institute of natural childbirth. I know it sounds kind of crazy because I'm a man, but I've always been interested in childbirth. 2 of my older children were born at home, natural childbirth. But when you look at a child, some mystical things begin to develop if you begin to ask certain questions. Number 1, when the child is in the womb, is it a boy or is it a girl? When the child is in the womb, what is this child born to do? When the child comes out, what would this child grow up to be? Many people ask the physical questions. Does this child look like the mother or the father? The deeper question is, what wisdom or insight will the mother and father set up as a platform to cultivate the genius that's in that child? So when a baby comes forth, there's a subtle energy that is moving the child. You can't see it. We call it spirit, we call it soul. As the child begins to grow and to develop, the child has a desire to walk. And no matter how many times the child falls, the child continues to do what? Taking the initiative to walk. The physical body of that child knows something inside of it, because on the molecular level, there's a timetable. The cells of intelligence. You see, we're not just physical beings. We're spiritual beings having a spiritual experience in a physical body. So at a certain time, the universal intelligence downloads and speaks through the cells of the child to let the child know it is time now for another dimension or chapter in your life. It is called teething. Once the teething develops, now it's time for another dimension in the child's life. The child now begins to see beyond color and see more accurately the pictures that's in front of his or her face. At a certain time, the child begins to emulate all the things that's around them. So children have what is called mirror neurons. They emulate. The cutest story yesterday. I was walking in the office and I said, and so my son Prince, he looked, he said, and every time he just kept spinning, and I'm like, what is he doing? He mirrors everything that I do. The way I walk, the way I talk, he mirrors all of that. Now what is it that we're saying? If a child holds mystical truths, then us as individuals, adults asking questions, we become so tired and stressed out from the child asking questions. We'll say, oh, you talk too much. You ask too many questions. But how is a child to grow unless they ask questions? As the child begins to grow and to develop, the child is introduced to a system. And as the child is introduced to a system, we do something that is direct opposite of its nature. We tell them about conformity. You see, education is not based upon memorization. Education is based upon cultivating your natural talent, skills, and gifts that's imbued inside of you. You have an excellent memory, not necessarily education. Because the education criteria is set. So if it's set and we pass a test, after you pass the test, someone says you're intelligent. No, you have a great memory. And no disrespect to any degree. I'm not saying PhD, Yale, Harvard. No disrespect. I'm learning how to be more peaceful in my presentations. This is my point. So the child has a cold, and what do we give the child? Medicine. Well, my physical body is alive. My body is a replica of the soil. So my body is made of water, 75%. My brain, 90% of water. 75% of the earth is water. 25% is mass. My brain is electricity. Electricity is polarized energy inside of my body. In my body are all the elements in the soil. So I cannot put anything that is synthetic inside of my body and expect for my body to absorb it, because the matrix of my cells cannot read it. Creates a side effect. So now the child nose continues to run. And as the child nose continues to run, the child will go outside and cut his or her knee playing around. And they'll have a little scar on their hand or their knee. The mother or father will kiss the child and put a Band-Aid on it. In a couple of days, the Band-Aid will be taken off and the scar is gone. Natural healing happens on the inside.